Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast with Starke. I want to say thank you to everyone that took their time to go to my podcast, the last episode that I released about immigration, things you need to know when you're relocating. I want to say thank you to the five of you. I think that's the last I checked. The five of you that took your time to listen to my podcast, watch it, share to people, and learn one or two from it. Um, and please subscribe to my channel. I know we're starting small, but the small beginnings matters, and I am happy to do this with a lot of you guys. So now, moving on, I'll be talking about this episode will be more about apartments in Canada. Yay. Okay, so um I believe that when people think about moving to Canada or relocating, there is this imagination of, oh, I'm going to be going to a new apartment, a very nice apartment with great views, balcony, nice, everything looking good, aesthetically pleasing. But I'll break the truth here. When I moved to Canada, oh geez, I literally stayed in a place where, like a dormitory, literally, where I had to share the same space. This is bathroom, toilet, living space. The only thing I didn't share was my room, where I had to share that with a lot of people. You can imagine how much people. So this apartment was an apartment or a dormitory that had 50 people, if I remember correctly. And we were both male, female. Some people even had kids. It is not supposed to be, but it is what it is. And reality just sets in, and I'm like, wait, what? This is not the kind of life I was imagining to live as a person in Canada. Was it tough? It was difficult. It was the worst thing I could have ever imagined would happen to me. How much was I paying for this apartment? Just a very small little cubicle. Guess how much I was paying for it? I paid $850 every month. So I had like a room. That's the only thing I had. It came with like a student dormitory, literally. That's how it looked like. So it had a bed, it had wardrobes, it had a dressing table, with what I would say that you have, a chair, and that was it. And that was the only thing I had to myself. That was the only personal space I had to myself. And I was paying $850 for that small space. Yes, I did. So that brings me back to the point where I would say, please don't have high expectations. If you're coming with the mindset that, oh, you want a very good, furnished, polished, aesthetically pleasing place, you're going to spend a lot of money that is not needed when you first arrive out to Canada, when you're trying to settle down, or maybe you're going to the UK. It's not needed if you'd ask me. So, yes, that being said, now we get to how the experience was for me. And this is where I say it gets more interesting. Tell your friends to tune in now if they have not. Okay, let's get back to the gist. So, I first stayed in an Airbnb, and I mean, the Airbnb was great. Oh my God, it was good. Like it was giving. It was giving what it was supposed to give. If you're Nigerian, you know that saying, right? I felt like a princess. I felt like, oh, look at that. I'm in Canada. Then I had to leave the Airbnb. Then I had to look for an apartment, and apartment is not exactly one of the things you get very easy wherever you relocate to. I don't know about the other countries, but especially in Canada, it could be very difficult. So, and I was running out of time. Is either I got an apartment at this set time, or I would have to keep staying in an Airbnb. And the more time I spent at the Airbnb, the more dollars I had to spend. Okay, so I'm like, you know what? Is it that this or that? I wasn't ready. I didn't have it in mind I was going to stay in that apartment, but it's something I had to do. It was a sacrifice that I had to make so I would have a good time here in Canada. It didn't feel exactly good. I felt like my space was intruded a lot of times. I felt like I didn't feel ashamed about it because I was paying for the apartment. I didn't feel any tone of shame staying in that kind of place. But I didn't feel good about the apartment in the sense whereby I didn't have a private space. I felt like a lot of times when I would go to the kitchen to cook and put my stuff in the freezer or the fridge, I didn't feel safe putting my stuff in that place. There were times where my ketchup got stolen. There were times where somebody would tamper with my fish, with my meat. They take it. We had CCTV cameras, right? But when you go meet the landlord, they'd be like, oh, it's not working. Maybe you should just buy a mini fridge, put it in your room, and all of those things. Mind you, I did have a mini fridge, but you can't put, I feel like I had this very small cubicle, so there were a lot of things I could not stock in my fridge due to the way the room was. I didn't want my room smelling all fishy, kitcheny, and all of those things. So I had to bear with that. Yeah, I had to bear with the fact that if I cooked today, somebody can come in, go to my fridge, take whatever they want to take, and mess it up. It didn't happen that often, but it happened at some times which I really took note of. There was a time that I bought a new ketchup. I have not opened it yet. And the time when I wanted to use it, I think it was like 2 days after I wanted to use the ketchup, I went to the fridge to look for my ketchup. Bro, it was gone. hmm Somebody took the ketchup. They didn't even take a little. The old bottle was taken away from the fridge. Was that sad? Oh, yes, it was. It was very painful because I really needed to have ketchup with what I wanted to eat that day. So I felt so bad about it. And since that time, I started having this kind of negative feelings towards the apartment. And I'm like, no, this is getting out of hand. The other time it happened was I like to eat grapes. So I bought grapes, put it in the fridge. I know I said I have fridge upstairs. And that thing about this apartment, it had long amounts of stairs that it can be so tiring to be going up and down. So this was my grapes and it didn't feel good. So the only bad thing about the apartment I would say is my space, my personal space was intruded a lot. Security wise, it wasn't so good. But throughout the time I stayed in there, nobody barged into my room. My stuffs were safe. Anything I put in my room was safe. Like I've never had any history or case of a stolen stuff. Literally. And it was very affordable for starters. I mean, I won't complain about that. And yes, personal space. Imagine sharing bathroom with a lot of people that you have no idea what they do. And this means if you're clean on a normal day, you have to go extra mile not to get an infection. hmm And I had to do that as well. And Another clause is sometimes where they do treats, like if you stay in apartment, there are sometimes they send like they do this their treatment. So most of the times when they treat other rooms, my landlord is not exactly considerate, and the heat transfers between the walls and makes my room very overheated. Crazy, right? Yeah, I had to deal with that. But I felt great about it. The whole experience overall, I felt blessed. I felt like it was just a way of me being trying to know how to be resilient and just understanding that it doesn't all start very rosy at first. There are sometimes you have to really go through the process to get there, and it's okay. Like it's it's not that you're behind in life. It's just you starting at a spot that is different from every other person because your time is different from this person's time, and you have to take it as it is. So I did feel good about it. It wasn't something that I would want to go through another time, but I had to adjust as quickly as I could. One thing again you need in Canada is how to adjust, how to adapt as quick as you can. And looking back, I realized something about this whole apartment thing. I feel great about not rushing into expensive apartments. There were good apartments out there. There were apartments that were over my budget. I feel great about it. I feel like if I had chosen the materialistic part of I want a great apartment, I want everywhere to look good, I feel like I would have been in so much financial debt and I'll literally be drowning. I literally started at where I could afford, where I could pay my rent in a way that I would not be stranded. That's the highlights of the apartment. I also understood the fact that when you get paid, you don't just put all the money to your apartment. I understood how you have to segregate your income and, try to make reasonable decisions about where this money is going to. And just being stable, literally, is greater than having a very aesthetically pleasing place. It works for some people that they were able to like get a very nice apartment and they're doing well. For me, that wasn't the case. I got another apartment which was supposed to be with some guys, but the room was very tiny and it was still going to be sharing and all of those things. And at that point, it was like $700. I would still have to pay for power outside the $700. The room is very small, like very tiny compared to this one where I was paying $850 all inclusive, right? So, and I had to stay with all guys, like I think four guys. I'll literally be the only lady. So I wasn't very comfortable about that. So that's why I decided to stay in the apartment where I had to share with over 50 people. Crazy, right? Yes, I did it. Anyways, we move on. These are things that I would want people to know. If you're immigrating, if you're relocating to a new city, it doesn't have to be Canada. It literally has not like if you're moving from where you are very comfortable at to a new place. These are things and tips I would like to share with you guys. Know that your rent is not just your rent. Always ask your landlord, what are the hidden costs? Who pays for what? Like now, if probably you get into like a basement, ask your landlord, when I have issues with my maybe your pipe got broken, who pays for it? Who fixes it? Are there any hidden costs aside from rent? Am I responsible for utilities, internet, power, disposal, water? who is responsible for all of that? You want to always ask your landlord for any hidden fees. They won't tell you. I'll be very honest with you. Nobody has the time to go over things you don't ask about. Okay? So, those are the things you have to ask your landlord about whenever you're signing the rental agreements. Because the moment you put your signature on the rental agreement, anything that happens after that means you agreed. You remember the last episode where I literally said, read every contract before you sign. It's the same with rent, it's the same with job, everything. So before you do that, have a face-to-face conversation with your landlord. Understand who pays for what. Understand your hidden fees. What happens if I don't get the rent in by the first of the month? How is the eviction process like? How often do you guys listen to the complaints of the tenants? Do you get what I mean? How often are inspection being done? Do you get what I mean? So you want to know all of that about the apartment. What's the security like? Sometimes you don't even have to ask the landlord about that. You could find one or two neighbors and just ask them, how is security in this neighborhood? Check if you have network. Check the routes, the bus routes, car routes, if you drive, just because you signed that contract, it's like a lease. And if it's 1 year, you break your lease within a year, whatever money you dropped for security deposit will be taken back. You won't get it back. So read your contract, understand the basis of rental agreements, and don't just jump into any contract without reading it. I can't stress on that, as like that part of that thingy doesn't get so much attention as it should. So you have to always read all your contracts, okay? I've spoken about internet, I've spoken about car routes and all of those things. Sometimes you get to an apartment that is furnished, and there are some landlords that are in the process of selling those furnished things you're seeing in the apartment. So that's where asking questions comes in place. If you're seeing a furnished, like an apartment that is furnished with a couch, you want to ask your landlord, does this come free? Do I have to make any payments monthly? Because most of the time, the last tenant sold it to them, and now they want to get it sold and get the money back. So you have to ask to be sure. Is this something I'm supposed to pay for monthly? Or it is just something that comes to the apartment? 50 or 70% of apartments in Canada don't come furnished. You get lucky, you get a furnished apartment, ask those questions. Okay? Deposits. Security deposit most of the time is literally like your rent 1 month down. So like it's like you're putting this money down. If anything gets damaged when you're in this apartment, we would use that money and fix everything. That's literally what security deposit means. Some landlords, they negotiate. You could negotiate with your landlord what you want your security deposit to be. At the end of the day, it's your money if nothing goes wrong at the apartment. Some don't like to get it negotiated. Some like a very standard fee and you have to pay. So keep in mind, if you're still renting, do not destroy whatever apartment you have, except you're ready to let go of the security deposit, obviously. But if you're not, you want to make everywhere look good, you want to put paintings on the wall, be ready to fix all of those damages when you move out. Another tip I would say is learn to take videos, learn to take pictures before you move in. Save those pictures, save those videos, because some of the times some landlord comes with, oh, this has a damage. But when you have those pictures and videos, you show it to them and be like, well, so when I moved in, I did make a video and this is what it was. Right? Your iPhone camera won't lie. It shows the date when the video was made, it shows when it was made and the time it was made. So if they're trying to be shady, you have your rental agreement. This is when you moved in and that was when the video was made. P4 period. So yeah, nobody tells you this, but this is very, very important. It will save you thousands of dollars. Because they get the rent, so they are not supposed to get the security deposit as well. you can get your security deposit back. Okay. So if you're someone that likes to live with friends, this is for you. If you get apartment, a lot of people, this is where I see a lot of people make a lot of mistakes because of the feeling of I don't want to live alone. I don't want to be isolated. You get to move in with friends. Nobody says moving in with friends is not a good thing. It's a very perfect thing. You need community in Canada. But please be careful of how you allow pressure affect you. A lot of people have gotten so messed up because of the decision they made to move in with their group of friends. People don't do well with pressure. So you have to know yourself first. It can be very difficult at the beginning, but it doesn't have to be so beautiful. Start something that works for you before you make that decision to move in with friends. Okay? And another tip is I would not advise you to move into a place that is carpeted in the sense where um they have rugs all through the house. Sometimes it can get very moldy and very it has this kind of musty smell. And if you don't have good vacuum cleaners, you won't be able to get rid of that. And imagine starting life in Canada or maybe in the UK, in the United States, as look you're figuring to and you're trying to figure out how to settle some of your bills. Imagine you trying to figure out how to get the musty smell out of your house or out of your apartment. So if you can, move into a place that has vinyl floors. It's more easier for you to clean, sweep, do all of those things. That's one very big advice I would give you. Please take it to your heart. And what else? When you're buying furnitures, I know a lot of people like to buy things from Facebook Marketplace, all of those places. But please always know that, or have it at the back of your mind that when people say they are bed bugs, they are really bed bugs. Okay? Some furnitures you buy on Facebook Marketplace, some people are not very honest. They probably have bed bugs and they just want to sell it out. So you have to be careful of what you buy, right? I mean, because the moment one bed bug gets into your apartment, it becomes a disaster, right? So just be careful of where you buy stuff from. If you're buying from Facebook Marketplace or maybe a thrift store, you want to wash them, you want to spread them under the sun. Don't just think because it smells nice, it's clean. Please wash all the clothes you get from thrift stores, the furnitures. If you can, that would be great. If you're buying online, try and buy leather furnitures from Facebook Marketplace. Just be careful, right? Because that's a lot of things most immigrants don't know. You see somebody selling a couch for like a very good affordable price, you rush to buy it. That's the beginning of your nightmare. And yeah, that's something I would want to say to you guys, most especially people that will be relocating. You're fresh. A lot of people won't tell you the truth. Hmm, they won't. Just know where you are buying stuff from. Hmm. Yeah, winter jackets, all of those puffy jackets. Please, if you can save up and just buy a very good one, buy it. Whatever good jacket you buy will take you for years, okay? But if you keep on buying from Value Village or you buy from a thrift store, give it some years down the line or some months, not even years. There'll be a lot of years and tears, I promise you. Okay, so I think I've just been able to like say everything I wanted to say about apartments. You could get apartment from Facebook Marketplace, a lot of rental sites. Sometimes it could even be your classmates, right? Check notice boards, like check all of those posters. A lot of people post, oh, I'm looking for this, blah blah blah. Call, go to the apartment first before you pay any money. Do not pay any money in deposit. See what you're paying for. Have a written agreement to say, okay, if you want me to pay for this now, I would have to go over this. Don't be so, don't be in an hurry to make a deposit. The apartment will still be there. They will tell you, oh, somebody's coming to take the apartment. You have to be fast. It's sometimes the lie. Take your time and look for other apartment, right? Don't be in a hurry to sign a paper or pick the deposit, okay? So it can be very, very isolating, trying to start a new life in wherever city you relocate to. But trust me, it's what the investment is, what the stress is, what everything you're putting in, and it would finally end in praise. Okay, your first apartment in Canada might not be very perfect, but it is definitely part of your journey. Start where you are. If it's little, big, whatever, remember, stability is greater than aesthetics. Okay, build gradually. Don't compare yourself with others. Your time is different from their time, okay? Don't be ashamed of where you're starting from. You're building. That's what matters. You're only supposed to compare yourself with yourself. It's you and you in that journey, okay? Learn to appreciate quiet moments of wins. It gives you strength. It's your journey. Be proud of it. Hmm? At the end of the day, it will make so much sense that you sacrificed this. Your beginning might be somebody's prayer. It doesn't matter how little it is. What matters is you're showing up, you're not giving up, and you keep on pushing. It will all get better. And I think that's all I have to say about this. I hope you were able to enjoy this episode. And yeah, it wasn't something I had so much things to talk about like that. But I just said I think I just needed to share these tips about this. And please take your time to share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your friends. Most importantly, I don't know if any of you guys attended NLP Conference Nigeria, but I heard it was great. Finally, thank God Pastor Bolaji decided to stream this online. Because, yes, for us that could not attend, we watched it online. I most importantly liked BBO's ministration and also Pastor Nathaniel Bassi. And I feel like it was a great time with Christ. And please take your time to watch it. It's on Avestas TV on their YouTube page. The journey is not always easy, but we would keep on pushing and we would get there eventually. Thank you and have a great day. Don't forget to share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.